Big game tonight. The University of Virginia Cavaliers face the national champions, reigning national champions, University of North Carolina Tar Heels. This is the tale of the tape.
You are Locked On Virginia, your daily podcast on the Virginia Cavaliers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good day, viewers and listeners. I'm your host of Big Law, Lawrence Johnson, and welcome to Locked On Virginia Cavaliers podcast, your first place to come to get your Wahoo fix every day as part of the Locked On Podcast Network. The date is 1/10/2023. Can you believe that we're almost halfway through the month of January? It's almost moving too fast for me. Everything is just at breakneck speed right now, and I don't know how to slow it down. If somebody knows how to slow things down, let me know, because we need to cherish and relish some of this time that we still all have here on this earth, and it's just too fast. But as I said earlier in my cold open, this is the tale of the tape. We're going to speak about the huge game tonight and opportunity for the University of Virginia Cavaliers to put a huge feather in his cap against the national champions and rivals, University of North Carolina Tar Heels. This also, if you remember, is also the oldest rivalry in the South. Let's not forget that point as well. The oldest rivalry in the South will be renewed tonight, and I think that the Cavaliers are up to the task based off of how they played, but so is UNC as well. They had a great bounce back game against Notre Dame last couple of days as well. But let's talk about some news before we really get into the tale of the tape of both of the teams for the basketball game tonight. How about the University of Virginia? And this is about the NIL. Well, the NIL right now is what's hot in college sports, and it's going to continue to be hot. Of course, the NIL means for name, image, and likeness. It's an opportunity for players to and student athletes to earn funds based off of their name, image, likeness, business ventures, whatever. And the Cavaliers have a foundation now called Cavs Futures. It's an NIL personal growth what do we call it? Personal growth fund. I'm going to read word for word exactly what they are calling this. Virginia Cavs Futures is expanding the NIL collective that supports University of Virginia student athletes, announced on Monday. The launch of Cav Futures Foundation. This is a nonprofit organization that will work alongside Cav Futures that will be dedicated to educational programming around the personal growth and development, mental health advocacy, financial literacy, brand strategy, and more. So it just brings more NIL opportunities to Charlottesville. And then maybe they'll go out and look for opportunities to do more partnerships for their players. So I guess it's kind of like they'll go find these opportunities throughout the businesses, throughout Central Virginia and beyond. And maybe they have the partnership with that foundation. And then the athletes come to the foundation and they put two and two together, or one and one together, and they somehow share in the wealth of all that. But UVA people would say that UVA, hey, it's all about education, and They want to play sports. They play sports for the love of the game. And I still think that's the case. But UVA had to jump in that pool. I know that a lot of folks don't want to accept that fact, but yeah, University of Virginia had to get in that pool, man. They had to figure out ways to offer this to student athletes, to players to get there, to get to that place that where most colleges, big time colleges in particular, are going, as far as offering these services to players and students and student coaches, student athletes. For me, I don't have an issue with it. I know some folks really do. Some traditionalists, they really don't like the fact that you get an education, but you also have an opportunity to earn, a decent income, a great income, a good income, in some cases a phenomenal income based off of what school you're at. But I can tell you like this. I mean, what's the difference? If the student athlete or just student is on a academic scholarship and they go work for Apple or Microsoft to decode viruses. Let's just say that, they work on decoding viruses and they get paid, $250,000 a year. What's the difference? I just think that athletes get more of get more scrutinized because they're athletes based off of their status. And I think that there's um, almost like a bias because you're an athlete, you don't deserve this because you're getting these benefits already. But like I said, if there was a student who was just an academic student and they were getting a scholarship, got benefits and all that, and they go work for our Microsoft, or Apple, and they don't necessarily have to adhere to or actually necessarily don't have all the 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 benefits of being a student with extra talents. Why should we limit them? And that's my thing. Let's not limit these kids. Let's let them have it. You know, let's let them get what they deserve based off of your talent, because that's how it is in the world. The most typically, not all the time, the most talented, smarter, most driven people are the ones that are going to do the best, in this world. And that's just the truth. And, I just kind of how I feel about the situation. And before we get to this tale of the tape, let me read you this. Looking for a delicious treat, but don't want all the fat calories that you gotta then you gotta try Built Bar. We just got through the holidays, and I know my goal is to eat a little healthier this year. If you're like me, where you want to eat healthier but don't want to compromise taste, then man, I've got just the thing for you. You've got to try Built Bar. With Built Bar, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously, they're so delicious you won't think they're good for you. Perfect for your New Year's resolutions. What makes Built Bar so good? Well, for starters, they're all covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. And they come in unbelievably good flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and coconut almond. I'm not sure how Built Bar does it, but these bars taste like candy bars while maintaining amazing macros. And that's even better, is that they are healthy. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar for a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't need to wait around to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering the Built Bars at Built.com. Now you can get them on your local Walmart at your Sam's Club. That's right. Head to your nearest Walmart today, walk to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. If you're close to Sam's Club, run and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors brownie batter and churro. You can thank me later. But those Built Bars are really good. I actually got a box of those things. And my favorite's the coconut and chocolate. And they actually are really good, and they actually work. They keep you filled up. And, with the protein, it keeps stopping you from being hungry. And shout out to Built Bar. But go out and get you some now. You can get them at Walmart or your local Sam's Club. So let's jump into this tale of the tape for University of Virginia and UNC. So right off the bat, you notice that UNC uh, uh, Tar Heels are a tough ranked team, full of talent. They're still 11-5 and 3-2 in the ACC, which is the same record that the Cavaliers have. But the game will be tonight, 9 o'clock on ESPN. Just look for the game. It'll probably be the game of the night, game of the evening. Should be really easy to find. But yes, UNC 11-5, UVA 11-3. And keep in mind, UNC seems to me like they're finding their stride. And if they find their stride, and this is the game that they're looking for to solidify them getting back on track, is beating a top team like University of Cavaliers. Right now, they're the AP ranked number 13 team in the nation. They're definitely hunting the University of Virginia Cavaliers now. Of course, you think about UNC and the players they have and to watch out for. Of course, you cannot go no further than thinking about Armando Bacot, who is the leader in rebounds and the leader in scoring points in the University of Virginia. Right now, Bacot is averaging 19 points and 11 rebounds a game. And he didn't have to come back. He came back because, I know they wanted to win another championship, had that opportunity. And they're just full of talent. Can't also forget about Caleb Love, their guard. He's averaging 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. And he, can kind of do it all as well. Then you got R.J. Davis, another guard who can shoot. He's 16 points, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. They really can get it done, especially if they get hot early. Like I said earlier, they're coming off of a big win against Notre Dame, 81-64, which I think really got them. I think is really getting them going, getting their juices flowing, in particular for this game against our Cavaliers. So right now, UVA is coming off of a shooting 46% behind the arc against their last team that they played, and I felt like this team is almost like even though they've only lost 3 games, 1-11, it's a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde situation right now. They can win in both, in both playing you offensively and defensively. The thing is, they become one of the really, really good teams, best teams in the nation, when they can put it all together. And I guess you can say that for a lot of teams over their seasons, but I really think the University of Virginia could have a really special team. Only, even if, you have, a couple players shooting threes. The thing is with this team is when they go into a drought or drought mode, they can really hurt themselves, which they're prone to do. But like last game against Syracuse, they shot 46% from three. And if they can shoot anywhere a semblance of that, you're looking at a team that can shut you down defensively and also shoot the lights out from deep. So let's talk about our 5 players in double figures, or the 5 players that are averaging right about double figures, or the 5 players that were in double figures last game. You had Amon Franklin, who had 16 points, Caden Cedric, who had 11, Jaden Gardner, who had 10, Reese Beekman, who had 13, and Isaac McNeely, who had 12. You have 6 players in double figures. And when you have that many players in double figures, and a lot of those players are shooting threes, we're talking Amon Franklin, we're talking Reese Beekman, we're talking Isaac McNeely. Those guys are shooting from deep. And also, you got to throw in Bennett Vanderplas, who made 2 himself. He made 12 three-pointers last game. That qualifies as a barrage. You have a 3-point barrage going on, shooting barrage, and it's going from different areas on the court. And, when you have 6 players in double figures like last game, I think that this team can really, really put their, can really look towards being one of the best teams in the nation collectively. Now, they do average right about 5 players average in double figures. Reese Beekman, Kihei Clark, Amon Franklin, Jaden Gardner, Caden Cedric. So those guys averaging double figures. And then, you put in, like I said, my man Bennett Vanderplas averaging between 7 and 8 points a game. He's another player who can come off the bench and get you some points from deep, nonetheless. But this should be a really good game, man. I'm looking forward to seeing where we stand, how we play, how we're going to respond. This will be in the JPJ. And last time they played North Carolina in the JPJ, they beat them. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they can pull that off again. And it's officially college basketball season, everybody. So college football just ended, and we'll talk about that for a second. But college basketball season has just officially become exclusive, because we got to thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen today. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. And the reason why it's officially just college basketball, because college football just ended last night. I don't know how many of you guys men and ladies stayed up for that game last night, but Georgia just pretty much put up a butt kicking for the ages against TCU, beat them 65-7. I just have to bring this up. I know we're doing tail of the tape, but I have to say something, being that I'm a football guy to my heart. This shows a football program to its heart. So people are going to complain and argue about the 12-team college playoff and why they should not have it. But I really don't have an issue with it. I actually like the fact that they're being more inclusive and bringing in more teams. But 65-7, I did not know that. I mean, I felt that Georgia could put up a ton of points against this team and against anybody in general. But the defense showed out way more than I thought that they would have in this game. You got to think, Georgia really, last game, got scared to death. That's what I think happened. They got scared to death against Ohio State, and they buckled down, they focused, and they figured out, okay, we want this, and we have the talent to have this. And that's a back-to-back championship. To be honest, listeners and viewers, they have the talent to do it again. They can go back-to-back champions. I don't know who's going to stop them. Naturally, you're going to say Alabama. I don't know if Clemson can do it, but this team right now, they're on a roll and they have it. They have the talent backed up there as far as, 5-star on top of 5-star on top of a 4-star. And that's what I said yesterday. When you run into those situations where, they're just better than you on different levels, TCU could compete some, on the outside. They have speed. They have, some talent on the outside. But when you're talking about the big boys, the interior, going right up the middle, and they got the talented starters and the talented backups, that's where you really lose the game. But shout out to the University of Georgia and the SEC for pulling off the most lopsided championship win in the Common Era, and great job for them. But tonight we have our big game, and this is against another national champion, a basketball national champion, the University of Virginia. University of Virginia, the University of North Carolina. And of course, I know they're fired up. The points per game, let's talk about that. Right now, UNC averages 81 points a game. University of Virginia averages 70 points a game. But this is where you're going to find the differences between the team, and it's going to be a vast difference. You're talking about UVA giving up 59 points and University of North Carolina giving up 74 points. That's a huge difference. The difference is, can the University of Virginia get out there, right, and cover the three-point shot and have some aggressive, strong closeouts without fouling the jump shooters that are shooting these threes? When they do that, this is a different team, and then they rebound well, and they get to the bucket, and get to the foul line, which is what you want, for the University of Virginia team. Then they're playing their game. You pair that alongside with making their open shots, and I'm not saying it has to be a three every time, but just make your open shots consistently. This team is a really hard nut to crack. Right now, University of Virginia is shooting 38% from threes. North Carolina is only shooting 31%. You may not think that's a huge difference, but 7 points, is a huge difference when you're talking 38% to 31% three-point shooting. And that's where we are. If University of Virginia can slow these folks down, we're looking at a really, really good opportunity to beat this team. Of course, they are coming. They're coming to Charlottesville. They're on a roll, and it's our job to slow them down and stop them. Of course, like I said before, Jaden Gardner averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds. Armand Franklin 11 points, 3 rebounds. Reese Beekman averages 9.8. You pretty much can say 10 points a game, 3 rebounds and 5 assists, and then of course Kihei Clark averaging 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists. Then you throw in Caden, who's averaging right at 10 points a game as well, and I think 5 rebounds, 6 rebounds. So I'm excited for the game. I will be doing a halftime report, possibly with my 7 City Shop Talk folks. And of course, being that it's a 9 o'clock game, I know everybody is sick of the late games, but when you're in prime time, you got to accept that. A lot of that means that when you're in prime time, they have a lot of respect for you, and that's what you want. Before you think about it in football, we get the noon game, the 12 o'clock game, at on Saturday. A lot of people were upset with that because it's too early. It's too early. That's because they don't respect, the game that you're playing right now. So they want to get your game on and get your game out of the way. For the primetime games, That's when the programmers, the TV programmers, really, really respect you, and they want to see them to put you in prime time when everybody's home, everybody can watch, and put up those big viewership numbers that they look for. And we're talking about advertising, but that's another conversation down the road. But like I said before, big game tonight, ESPN uh, radio, ESPN, of course, on channel, and we'll be on the scene. Well, we won't be on the scene, but we will be watching and reporting on that as well. Then I also will do a post game now as well. So be in front of your TV at 9 o'clock. As I say, I'll give you advice on if you want to catch the game and watch it in full. Get a nap when you get home from work today. Everybody, take a nap. Get you a little something to eat, lay down, take about an hour or two nap, and get up so that you're refreshed for 9 o'clock and ready for the game. That way you can watch the entire game and you've already got a couple of hours of rest so that you won't lose or it won't be as big of as an issue for you because you got a little rest earlier in the evening. But that's it for the show today, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and seeing what some of your opinions are. Please go ahead and like and subscribe the program on YouTube and on Odyssey as well. But I got to thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need and need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from the big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On Basketball. Available on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you guys again. I will see you tonight and tomorrow to do more reporting. Also, I will have my girl Jackie Franchuli possibly tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. It'll be Friday. It'll be Wednesday, which is tomorrow, or Friday, and we'll do a State of the Union of recruiting. Where the Cavaliers basketball program is now. But thank you guys. Thanks for making Locked On Virginia your first listen today. This is Big Law. I'll see you guys in a little bit.